course, professionals, we do have a Stairmaster tool, which basically is an adjustable. You can spread it out and you can adjust these things here. Obviously, I don't expect you to have a professional tool or go buy one for $300 just to do one staircase. So I'm gonna show you how I used to do it long time ago, when I did not have a Stairmaster. Nobody had that. So, of course, a very important thing to know. See how they're nailed here? You can see these nails, nail holes right everywhere, filled, but you see them. And what these nails in the middle here do, your staircase is never flat, it's never straight. It always curves down to here and curves in to here. Why? Because the stringers on the sides are attached to the walls, and the middle stringers are basically hanging in the air. So with time they sag, which creates this unevenness here. So if you shoot nails right here in the middle, it pushes it in, and so it becomes crooked. Same happens here. So then you need to go and undercut this. This was undercut. That was undercut. Or you get these gaps here. I do things quite differently. And of course I don't find out these angles with squares. So what I do is I take this measure and I go ½ inch shorter, 42.5. 42.5. It does need to be a good line, 90 degrees. Actually, I have to do it from this side, so this is a factory edge here. And I measure the width of the staircase. It's about 11, and this one is 11.5, so it's good for my purposes. And then you can use a chop saw, slide-in chop saw to cut it. I use table saw to do it. And so, okay, well, most contractors, or pretty much all of them, if they don't have a Stairmaster professional tool, they'll use a square to check this angle, or they'll use a framing square, which is basically a 2 by 24 by 16. They'll put it against this and they'll look at this angle. Now we see about 1/8 of an inch gap here, and here we have about 1/16 of an inch gap here. Now, since this is curved in, this is not a true line. So the true line is somewhere actually here. So basically your tools, if you do it like this, you're resting them against a side wall that is curved in, which results in an inaccurate reading here. That's why I do this. This is basically a big framing square that I custom create for every staircase. Because now it goes from this point to this point. See? Now it's resting against these corners. Now look here. Let me take my camera off and shove it in there. So we basically have about 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 of an inch gap here where my pencil goes in very easily. It's all the way in here, all the way in here, but a gap here. Alright, so this tool, this square, is supposed to be right there. So it tells me there is a gap there, but this true square tells me that this gap is twice more than what this guy was showing me. The other side we had this reading, which is 1/16 of an inch. Without it, it's not even that. It's about half. Okay. Now, of course, this one is not as bad as some of them will be. Imagine this going in 1/4 inch, and that's usually the case. Anywhere from 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, sometimes even more, especially in older homes, where these middle stringers have sagged with time. And so everything got bowed. And so now what I do, I rest it against the back wall, shove it into one of the corners. I take the back measure and I make it about 1/16 of an inch shorter. I don't want to fight with these walls. I want my piece to just drop in basically, without scratching walls, fighting it, banging on it. So 42, it's a 3/4 tight measure, and I'm gonna make a 1/16 of an inch shorter. It's gonna be 42, 11/16. Now, all I do is I look at this line. And so I need to add maybe 1/16 of an inch there. So I just do 0 on the top plus 1/16 on the bottom. I stick it into this corner, make sure it's up against the back, and this is almost 3/16 of an inch here. And my speed square was telling me half of it, but this is telling me 3/16 gap, which means I have to remove this distance from here, right? And so I'm gonna put, of course, the back measure you never mess with. This is your back measure. So you add 1/16 of an inch there, and you actually remove 3/16 of an inch here. So this piece can go all the way in. This is our measure, right? So we're gonna do minus 3/16 here. And in the same fashion, I'll go over, and of course you put a number. Then you do the risers the same way. So this is your run. Then you do the riser. Well, I actually do the runs, the flat parts, all of them. Then I go another way because the riser is a little bit shorter usually than the flat part, the run. So when I do the riser, I actually trim this to the proper height. So that's why I go one way, do the runs, then trim this to the width of this riser, and I go do my risers and I put them close here. The measure is the same, it stays the same. You measure this, it's the same as you measure this, right? Okay, so I'm gonna look at it here. Of course, I'm gonna measure wall to wall. It's again, it's the same. 4211. So I will write 4211. Of course you put numbers. Let's say number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. For this one I gotta remove 1/8 of an inch here. So I'll do minus 1/8 of an inch. And 0 on top. You don't have to do zeros. Stick it against this wall. And it tells me I gotta remove 1/8 of an inch here. So I'll just do minus 1/8 of an inch. And I'll move to the next. Well, look at this, perfect 90. (42.13), so I do 42.75. Let's call it, it doesn't matter, 42.75. So I'll put an X mark here, meaning perfect square. Put it up against this. You can add remove 1/16 of an inch here if you're not happy with this tiny little gap. Let's just do that, minus, you can do 1/32. 0. And move to the next. Of course, make sure they don't unlock. You can actually, and I do that when it becomes a problem like this, I'll just put some masking tape here so it prevents it from unlocking, or duct tape. But for this purpose I don't really care. So up against the back wall I gotta add about 1/8 of an inch. So I'll do the takeoff, of course. 42.13. So we'll do 3/4. On this side I'm adding 8, so plus 1/8 at the bottom. And right toward the very end there is a little tiny gap. So you can address that, or you can just caulk it, it's up to you. Alright, so I think you get the point, right? Now I can finish my video. And I'll actually show you how to do it without all these nails here, without all these nail holes. I have a way of making it without damaging the finish, then having to fill all these nail holes, and they're distorted, you can feel them. When you drive a nail, it kind of gets damaged and gets distorted. Some of them turn out nice, but others, like there's another one, it basically chips the finish off, and then you have to fill it with caulking, and of course it doesn't look that professional. Well, I mean, every staircase is like that when you get on your floor and you look at it point blank. And so I'm gonna show you how to avoid this gap here, how to basically fix this staircase with basically glue and not putting any nails in the face of it, in the surface. You ready for it? Let's do it! So now, actually, take a look at this. I have 12 steps, 24 angles, right? Out of 24, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at 90. 5 out of 24. That's 20%, approximately. Right? 80% is off, in and out. That's why I do that. So now I'm gonna have to go back. So I'm gonna flip it. I'm not gonna measure because that's exactly the same number. But all I'm doing now is putting it down and looking at my angle. Of course, walls are in and out, so you're not gonna get this gap perfect. Never gonna get it perfect. You can try. You can cut it back like this, like 22 degrees or so. Make this edge sharp so it cuts into the drywall. But it's gonna be extremely easy to damage. I tried that too. So it's just much better to just fill this with clear silicone after I'm done. That really makes it beautiful and neat looking and almost perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna do straight cut here. I'm gonna do straight cut there. Do this X. This one I'm gonna add 16th of an inch down below, so I'll do 0, 1/16. This one, that one will make straight X, straight. Ooh. That one, let's add 3/16. So 0 at the top, 3/16. Straight, 8 to the top, 8 to the top, number 8, yes. 8 to the bottom, straight, 8 to the top, 16 to the bottom. Same thing, wait for this one. Right, that's number 6, yes. Okay, I want it. Here, some more, please. Yes. Straight. Same about this, no, not that as well. No, straight. No, focus on the average. Yes. Bottom. 16 to the top. Now, and here's the thing. I have here, but that's. So here I want to find out, obviously, the width and the height. So I'm going to put this one here. Just gonna measure. And so I'm going to do it 5.5. So I do want to allow a little clearance here. Okay, so I'll just take it out 1/8 of an inch or so. Okay, and then you do want to have clearance on the back, at least 1/8 of an inch, because this part fits behind it like this, so we don't do too many nails. I always have this connection, so I like about 1/8 of an inch, quarter inch from here. This one, I'm not going to have a riser, I'm just going to freshen it up with paint later. This one's going to be shorter. This one, I want to have clearance here, right? So 5. And the same here. Now these I do have to do it this way. Here. Much better. So 5 3/8 or so. 5.5 or so. So basically I want to find an average. 5.5. 5.5. 5.5 should do. 5 3/8. 5 3/8. So probably 5 3/8 is most frequent. This is 5 3/8. And this guy will be 5 3/4. Okay, so I'll do 1 5 3/4. So 1 at 5, 1 at 5 3/4, 10 at 5 3/8. Use a piece of stair notes, line flat, and measure 7 9. Again, and hopefully they're all the same. Another way you can do that is you can pre-cut them, put them here, and score the line in the back. I've already done that. So 7, 7.5.
7.5. So we do have to measure them all. This one is 7 and 3/8. So I'm gonna mark it 7 3/8. You can do it here next to the number. So these are all 7.5, 7 3/8, 7 3/8, 3/8, half again. The reason I want to have this measure right is because I want the stair nose to actually rest on it. I don't want it to hang like this. This paper has to sit on the rise, and the rise like this. Yeah? So 3/8 on this side, half on this. This over top. Yep. So I have to do half, 3/8. Half. Half. 3/8. 3/8. 3/8. Of course, some people just put glue on it. You can do it too. 3/8. 3/8. 3/8. 9/16. The 3/8. The 3/8. It's gonna sit just below, but the difference is gonna be covered with glue. Or done with the glue. I might just do all of them 3/8, you know. And just put more glue on this one. Let's see. Yeah, this one's a 1/4. But this is where I took the final off. Yeah, this one's a 1/4.
Okay, so this is a piece of overlap that I just have to put here. Can't do this, right? Just can't do flush mount on ends on your rest of the flooring because it's supposed to move around. So you just can't do that. It's supposed to do this. So I have to basically measure to this. 7, 5/16. And of course I want to do the other side as well. 7 and 5. 7 and 5/16.
Now the stair noses of course come in 94, and this one already cut. This little piece. They come in 94 and change. So I basically do want to cut them in half. Okay, somewhere at 47.
Now of course you want to be careful with that because your staircase might be wider than this one. This one is pretty narrow. Usually they're at 42 and up.
So here, I'm just going to chop them in half, and then I'm going to go and lay them out and mark them all and then cut them all. Now if you've noticed, since it's a laminate, they're going to have repeating patterns. So you basically want to pay attention to that, because you don't want your steps. See? So 4 of these I got 6. So I have to mix them. This guy, this guy again, this guy good, this. I still have 3 of those. Let's say one is going to be here. A bunch of those. I can't go for 2, I have to go for 1. Yeah, I have to go for 1. Every second one, because I have the most of those. So I do want to mark them all, so I don't end up being confused. At this point it doesn't matter, so I'll just in the middle somewhere because ends will be cut. So you go 1, 2, 3, and so on. 6, I do put that because it can look like 9. There.
So first what I do is I cut them to the right width. Of course the same thing goes for this. You want to mix them up. Now look, it's gonna be just like this behind it, and another one, and sometimes another one. So obviously you don't want them to be like this, right? Mix them up. One there, one here, this guy, this, and this. Sometimes they're all different, sometimes they're not. Just one, two, 1, 2, 3, back to back again. So I'm gonna go back to here. Not going back here. 2, again, 2, do this. And so now the only stuff. Okay. I want this male end to be preserved because the way this stair nose operates basically slips into the male edge. Okay, so I need one at 5. See, there's an ancient cord that's going to be left, and I'm going to use it on my vertical piece, the riser. This way I don't end up wasting lots of material. My 5-inch runner is a number 12, so I'll put 12 on the back of it. Let me just do 5 3/4, number 1. Yes, 5 3/4. 5 3/4. Put number 1 on the back of it, and then the rest I'll set at 5 3/8, 10 of them. I'm just gonna mark 5 3/8, and I'll show you why. Later on, I'll put it on the side, on this pile, so I know. And now I'm gonna put it here because of this lip. You basically want to physically align it with the proper side of your blade without touching it with your finger, like I did, because it's not safe. I'm gonna do these two without my mask, but laminate, when you cut it, creates lots and lots of dust. And so when I pre-cut a bunch of them like this at the time, I do use earmuffs and my mask. And I'll do 2 of them without, and then the rest with. So now I'm gonna just line it up and do 10 of them. So I will put my mask on. Okay, so now I have all my threads or runs, 12 of them, put them like this. Now I'm gonna go, of course, the full plank stays as it is, but I do need to know. So I'm making all of them at 7 3/8. So let's grab this, put it where it goes, and see if we need to take off any more. Well, I think it's perfect. So I'm just lucky here. This guys, wherever I just removed, works perfect. So I don't need to rip, except one. The first one I want to make at 5/16. Yeah, remember? So just one needs to be cut back. They're all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do need to make one at 15/16 and one at 7/8. You can do the same thing. And mark it. I grab another one if I have any scraps. Yeah, here's one. This one I'll do at 7/8. Just I'm gonna put number 1, so I know I want to put it in several places. So this is my number 1.
at 7 and 5/16. Here's my number 11. Alright, so I put these 2 planks here so I can just rest my stair nose forward. So that's number 12, and that's another one. Let's start with 1. Okay.
So now I have my chart here. I have 34 and 1/16. But I have my 0 here, my 0 here. So what do? I did take all the measures at the back side. So I mark it here, I mark it here. I take my tape measure. And I do 34 and 1/16. There. Now, instead of adding 1/8 of an inch here, I just had a gap here. I'm gonna remove 1/8 of an inch on this side. So instead, I'll mark it back 1/8 of an inch. Connect the lines. Here, so basically my measure is from this mark to this mark. Here is the same thing. I'm gonna do 90. I'm gonna mark it here. I'm gonna see what I have to do. I have to add 1/16 of an inch here. So I'm just gonna add it. Connect these lines. You know what, I'm gonna do this. 1. I'm just gonna go and do it on the table, so really quick, but usually I just do all of them. I'll mark all of them, then I'll cut all of them. And of course I don't want to cut my stair nose just yet.
Here, and it fits like a glove. I didn't have to bang on it, didn't have to lift in the middle and shove them in. Of course, I'm marking them and put them aside. I'm gonna cut stair noses. The very last thing that I'm gonna do is cut stair noses. Put them on the side. Flip them. And I'll put number 2 on this. And so I don't get confused, I'll put this one on the side as well. Might as well use the table. Okay? Yeah, let's do that. Let's use the table. Okay. Now we go to number 2. You will have to mark out both. They're all gonna be different. Okay, now I'm just gonna repeat this whole thing.
Straight cut. That's easy. I'm just gonna put my square here.
Hi, my name is Dmitry. I'm from Ukraine.
Hey, Dmitry from Ukraine.
Professional painter.
Good for you. 34 and 1/16. I think Dmitry from Ukraine wants to be on YouTube.
European quality Mexican prices.
European quality, Mexican prices. Call Dmitry from Ukraine, he'll paint your house.
We estimate.
So here I have a 0 and 3/16 on the bottom. I'm just gonna put a square, put my mark here, or just add 3/16 eyeball, or use a tape measure. Connect the lines. There it is. Move to the next.
$34 1/4. 3/16 added. On the top, I'm gonna remove it from here. So I'm just gonna eyeball 3/16 and remove it. Keep my square on the mark. Let's see. Things are moving around. Yeah. You know what? This looks to be bugged a little bit. So I'm gonna go back a little bit. Yeah. Let me go back to this.
And scratch it off and do it again, because I don't want to fight with them later on. So mark here, 3/16 off, score line, keep your square where it is, 34 1/4. And 1/8 on the bottom. So 34 1/4. Sorry. 34 1/4. Have to add 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just gonna put a pencil at the angle like this. And eyeball 1/8 of an inch or so. Score it, mark it.
Let's do a few more on tape. This one I'll do from another side, and you can do like that. So 0 at the top, add 1/16 at the bottom, pivot it, trace it, keep the square where it is, hook onto it, 34 1/4 straight cut. Double check things. Yes, I did move. Straight. Number 4. Number 5. So make sure. Okay. Number 5. 0 there. 1/16 here. Do it. Mark it. 34 3/16. Mark it to the back. 34 3/16. On this side, we're adding 1/16 of an inch. On this side, just eyeball. Let's do one more. Sorry, did I just bump you? Number 6, straight cut on the left. I'm just gonna do it first, of course. That's how I used to do it before they made Stair master tool. You can buy it for like $200-300. But if you don't need it often, you don't really want to buy it. 34 7/16. The one kind of marking back there. 34 and 7/16.
And mark, square, and subtract 1/16 of an inch. 6. Okay. I think you get the point, right?
I'm gonna do the last one with you. Then we'll go cut. So mark there, 1/8 of an inch added at the bottom. We're gonna put this pencil on the angle like this. Now I connect the lines.
$34 even. come back here. And I have to add 3/16 on the bottom. So I'm gonna put the pencil on the angle again, and eyeball 3/16 and connect the lines again. I know you got it. Some of you might not. Who knows? I'm just gonna leave them there. I'm gonna do the flat parts before I go cut them. The same kind of idea. Okay, the risers obviously I need to connect together. And this is the number 1. And number 1 is all square cuts, which is good. Mm-hmm. 34 and 1/16. Here's my number 1. Number 2, square cut on the right hand side. I always start with it, or you can keep factory. I'm gonna keep the factory edge on this, so I'm just gonna do this. 34 and 1/16. 3/16 added on the bottom. So again, eyeball my 3/16. Put a number on it. You can put a number here if they unhook on you. And in that fashion, let's see. There's square cuts on both. So I'm gonna line them up on either side. $34 1/4 straight cut. One 1/16 added at the top. Yeah, right there. Since we're measuring at the bottom, I'm gonna leave it on the mark, hold it, and hook to it. Yeah. I'm just gonna clamp it down here. Do 34 and 3/16. Thirty-four 3/16. This one I do have to remove this 1/16 of an inch from over there, so I'm gonna mark it and then just go back a little bit. 1/16 of an inch.
Number 5. Let's do one more on film. So number 6 is all different. So. Okay, so number 6. Number 6. 16th edit here. Instead, I have to remove 16th over there. Attach. 34 and 7/16. 34. See how much difference in between them? The shortest is 33 and 7/8. The longest is 34 and 7/16. 33 7/8. 34 7/16. Anyway, 34 and 7/16. And I got 1/8 of an inch to remove on top. To remove, so I mark it. And then I go back 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Put number 6 on it. Now we can do number 7, which is taller than everybody else. I have a straight cut on the left. But here, I have this locket system that I have to remove, so I'll just line them up if I can. First I'm going to have to remove this lock. So straight cut on the left, measure on the bottom. 34, 3/8, 34, 3/8. 1/8 of an inch added on the top. Number 7.
Well, it's time to cut them all. I'm gonna do both, but I'm not gonna do the stair noses, because if I messed up on any of these, I want to know before I cut them. So actually the stair noses I cut at the very last, just before I set them basically. So after all my flat parts of the runs are in and I confirm that they're right, I go and cut the stair noses. day 2 on our staircase, and we're ready to do some steps today. Are you ready? I'll be using this 18 gauge pneumatic nailer. And I'm gonna switch to 1-inch nails. So I begin by just setting them somewhere close to where they are gonna end up going. Let's see, alright, so this is 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, maybe even here. This is 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Alright. And these I'm gonna leave here. And so basically, before I cut my noses, I want to make sure that I'm right on all these. So I'm gonna put them in place, and if some of them don't work out, I just set a gap here. I'm gonna take it all apart later, but I'm gonna set a gap here. So this riser fits here and behind. This way I don't need to nail here, they kind of interlock. And then I can push this one in with a hammer, but at this point I'm just checking that they all gonna work out. Oh, this one is too high. Maybe it's because this one is not all the way down. Yeah. Yeah. So as far as angles, we're good. A little too high on this one. Just keep setting them, because I'm putting these all at once, because I don't want to go back and forth, up and down the steps, because I don't want to use too many nails. Yep, this one's good. No. A little bit tighter than I wanted. I just want them to drop like this. Okay. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. I usually check on both sides. Yeah, that's too tight. Right number, yes. This one I'll have to trim. So I'll check the angle here, it's good. I'll check the other side. I'll see that I'm off right here. So I did it wrong right here. So I'm gonna leave it. Go check the rest. That's how I want it to fit. Just drops in, push it in a little bit. Yeah, like this. And you don't need to use a mullet. Okay, so that's number 8. I'm gonna put it on the side. I mean number 7. Yeah, this is number 8. So, see, this way you don't have to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a number here, have a number here. So it becomes like furniture from IKEA. Oh, come on, cooperate. Just like that. Just like that. Then here's one on the riser. That's a little too tight. Let's check the other side. That will go in. I can push it all the way in. I can trim it. I think it's just the way the wall is. Otherwise it will go in. Now I see it's this thing. Then I'll probably have to remove this lifting up on the corners. Yeah, that's what keeps them from going all the way down. I have another thing to do. This is not bad. I mean, you can't trace the wall if it's like this, right? All you can do is come close to it and fill it. Okay, this one is definitely too tight. Check. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm gonna take apart those that did work out. I'm just gonna lean them against the wall. Where you go. You can play it safe. Take them down there. They don't fall on you. Don't get used to this. Yes. So. Okay, so this one I need to undercut. Let's check this guy. Perfect. Yes, perfect. I want it to be flat, obviously. So yeah, this one is good. Okay, now this one, of course, this one is too high, and you can check with low piece. When I put it here, what do I see? I see a gap. You see a gap under the pencil? Use longer level and that gap is going to be even bigger. So that's why you sharpen it like this actually. You can put it like, just like that, and trace your line from the back. It's gonna be pretty accurate, but you don't have to make it perfect, because we're gonna end up putting glue on this. Putting glue here, here. Okay. This one goes to the table saw. This one goes here. Okay. Sometimes I just do like double every other step, so it's up to you. You can lay them down some there. Because if this is 2 out of 90, they may not stand properly. So you just have to be either careful or take them down completely. Alright, now I'm gonna go and play with these two. So I checked that side is fine, but this one I was wrong on some of it. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna check my measure here, and it's 34 3/8. I'm gonna confirm it. 34, well, it's a little longer than I wanted. So I'm gonna put it where it's going. I'm gonna align it 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch there. And since I want it a little shorter than this, 1/16 of an inch, what I'm gonna do is put my pencil on that mark and just gonna trace it with the wall at the same angle. Okay, again, I don't know if you've seen it, I'll try to do it closer. So I marked it 1/16 of an inch, and I put it here, find the right angle, and I go with the wall. It goes, it glides or slides against the wall. Alright, let's begin. I'm gonna start with these guys. Don't tell me that. No, it wants a little more. It likes to be chopped, I think. I'm just gonna do this corner, but that's what keeps it from going in. And so this one goes here. I'm just gonna double check it. Yes, good. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll, actually. Alright, so the next step is to correct these. So number 12 was wrong. Number 12 was off a little bit, right? And the number 7. I'm just gonna lean it like this, and I'll put it flush with this, and I'll check. Well, this side is good. Now I'll do the same here, and this side is off a bit. Okay, so I trimmed the corner here, so I don't want to actually go by it, by the crooked corner. This should be good. You notice I use an old blade, so I don't get a clean cut. I get some tiny chips, right? That's actually what I want, tiny chips. I don't want a perfect edge, because perfect edge will look awkward against that unperfect wall, and then when you caulk it, it will kind of show. You'll see that perfect edge. So you don't want it perfect. You want it slight chips, okay? Slightly. Can't be a super clean cut. So when you do laminate, don't get a new blade. Just use an old one. As long as it doesn't chip it really badly. Just slightly. And you do want to wear earmuffs. Okay, so I actually put it this way first. I apply my glue on the back side of it. You can actually do the whole thing. It's up to you. I think this way it doesn't stick out. There's no mess. I do want to take this, strike it like this. Of course, I will be double checking things. Before I put glue on them, I want to double check. Lay it down like this, and you will need something for the glue to drip on. This guy, I go like that, and this one doesn't require too much glue, but it's a piece that's gonna stand here like this. Okay, most people will put a bunch of nails, we'll put drive nails here in the middle, push it in, so it will take the form of your existing staircase, which is all bowed. So I don't like doing that, obviously. So since the riser sits here, I can hide a couple nails right underneath it. Okay. And so all I want to do, really, and of course you do want to check this, right? You want to make sure that it all fits properly and sits on things. So you kind of check before you nail it. Keep it here. What I do is, of course, I have to go over a full plank and strike it like this so the glue gets transferred. Now I'm just gonna put one nail here, like that. And before I load it, right? So you can use 1.5 inches. For this I use 1 inch. Chances of them bending and coming out the other side are smaller this way. So right there, and I don't put anything here. I do put one at the angle like this. And another one at the angle right here. I don't put anything here because I don't want it to take the shape again. This old staircase that's been sagging for 80 years. Yes, I hear you. I don't care. I'm working. The reason I use subfloor liquid nails, subfloor and deck, is because when you get it on your products, it's easy to remove it with just these gloves. Okay? And now, I'm not gonna put anything there. The glue will catch it. And then I'm just gonna drive 1 or 2 right in the corner somewhere. Make sure there's something to nail to. You can go high like this here and try to drive it into that, like this. And don't drive anything here. See the gap? You don't want to push all that stuff in there. Just want it to catch. And so I'm gonna leave this piece till the very end. I'm gonna come back after I'm done with the staircase and set this piece and the very last piece out there. So put it here, check. I'm gonna flip it. Gonna go from the other side. Yep. So now, one here, the very edge, one here. Now, of course, I'm doing this, and I know nobody's gonna walk on them for 24 hours. If you do have traffic or anticipating traffic, you should definitely put more. Okay, now here I'll be going to this strip and this. I'll just do strips. wavy strips. Okay. About ½ inch overhang. It's gonna hide my nails. So I'm just gonna put one here, a little on the angle down. Like this. Make sure it's down all the way. There. And nothing here in the middle. I'm gonna show you how to do without nailing through these guys, because they're shiny and sleek. So these holes in these surface will be showing. You'll see them. So instead, now I'm just gonna put glue everywhere, like this, like that. Okay, so I do waves. Okay. Or triangles. And I do want to make sure I got glue on this piece as well. So now when I'm gonna put it in, it's gonna just glue this whole thing together. And what's gonna be holding it all together is glue, not those nails. I'm just gonna take it together. See if I need any more. It's pretty good. I'll do another one. Just in case. Pull it and glue it together. And one more. Now I want to make sure that it's not lifting, right? Of course, all I can do is this. I can put another one like this if I have to. I didn't have to this time, but I'm just gonna show you. So sometimes you do have to. Just like that. Okay, no nails. Where are the nails at? Huh? Where are the nails at? Okay, well, let's... Yeah. See? I got glue on it, but it's no problem. Only the subfloor can do that. Others, like regular liquid nails, you're gonna have a hard time with it. If you get it on the, all over the place. No matter how careful you are, and you work in a tight space like this especially, you're gonna get it on things. You know, it's almost like guaranteed. So I only have one top stair nose left to do. I'm gonna go around it, and that's gonna be the last thing I'm gonna do this week. Alright? If you do need to go up the staircase, obviously you wanna step here on the side, right? And you don't wanna step on a stair nose like this. You wanna step right here. So I'm gonna do that. Step on a flat part, go up if you need to. Okay, so for some reason my GoPro camera stopped working when I was actually undercutting this. So I'm gonna show it to you again. I basically laid a piece of scrap here, right? And then I just went like this. Okay. Then I took this wall-to-wall measure, 34 1/4. Okay. So I made sure this is square and it's in decent shape. It's not broken, not chipped. Okay, so I'm putting in the gap, as you see, and I do dots, and I do wide dots, not one single dot like on the spot, like this. No, you go sideways like this. And this one, this stair nose, is overlapped, so it's extremely delicate, and if it's not done right, potentially you can break it off. So I do use lots of glue. So if you, when you put it in, all that glue, and I do nail it. These I do nail. Okay, so my riser is here. I don't want to nail it into it. I don't want to nail here, and I don't want to put my nail here. I want my nail to be right over this. So I flip and I put one right here. One there. Okay, now I can let you go. And I'll do the same thing here. I do usually one in the middle as well. You can tape it. But these are very easy to ruin in the next 24 hours. So we're done here. Look, I barely went through one rack of these. I still have left. Or did I reload? I don't think I reloaded. Well, job well done, people. It's time to go have some beer and enjoy a short weekend. Of course, don't forget to put a big ass sign to let everyone know. Don't go there. Alright, time to make it look perfect. So, this is a clear caulking. It will turn clear. And it's dry. So just like that. Let's do a few more together. Let's do this as well.
one more. I'm going to tell you to go and wash the sponge.
Now when it dries, all those gaps are gonna disappear. In a few hours, I'm gonna see that. Okay. So I think you get the point, right? Use clear. Clear. It's white initially, but when it dries in a few hours, it will become clear. It's just easier this way to apply. Hey, what do you know? All the gaps are gone. Where did they go? Hey. Hello. Well, some of them are still drying. Like this one is still dry in there, but it's all, I mean, if you don't crawl on all four, you put your eyes in there, looks pretty good. What do you think?